that last week it was graduation week. Makerere University was having its 74th graduation ceremony. Where does it leave the graduates out there? Because we do understand that over 11,000 students graduated last week. That is all the way from Monday till Friday on the 2nd of February. Join me as we discuss what next now that the people are done with school. My name is Akuda Enid, and today I'm joined with the former Guild President, Makerere University Business School, plus other two. Yes.
Hello, greetings, friends and our dear viewers. My name is Bruno Kamoga, and a graduate who pursued the Bachelor of Business Computing from Makerere University. At the same time, I'm a fresh graduate, of course, and I'm here to talk about what next. Introduction about Sochiba.
Yeah. Very much. My name is Blessing Martha Namugirwa, a graduate from Makerere University Business School, and I pursued a bachelor's in procurement and supply chain management.
Interesting.
Greetings to you all. My name is Martin Chizito, a recent graduate from Makerere University, moves as a whole. I pursued a bachelor's degree in business administration, accounting option.
Okay, beautiful. So now, today we are going to talk about the main topic today is going to be what next. Like, now that you guys are done with school, we do understand that, you know, how the situation has been like at campus. And now here with me, I can address you as my engineer, software engineer, you know, business computing. I do have my procurement officer and then, you know, a full administrator. So it's a full house today. So please tell us what next now that, you know, campus is done. We're no longer, you know, students and all that. What next? What's up for you? What's next in life?
Well, I believe that what is the meaning of graduation? Graduation means that you're done with studies, and what you expect next is a job that is assured. However, it is a different story when you move out there.
Yeah.
We're over 11,000 plus graduates, as you've said. MOOBs having over 4.2k graduates from different programs. And when you look at Makerere, the different colleges, also they have huge numbers.
Yes.
And all these are waiting jobs. The question is, are the jobs there? Yes, they are. But now check the population that we have in Uganda. It's a very big one. We have the old, we have the young, and we have also those who are just growing up. And you'll see that most of the offices are being occupied by the old. And yet these are the very people.
And they also don't want to give office.
Exactly. These are the very people who are supposed to train the young ones, and they give them space. Well, there's what they call on-the-job training. I believe after pursuing the program, when you get a job, they train you and you get experience. But when you to check most of the jobs that students apply for, they will tell them 4 years experience. Where is experience told from? I believe that experience is obtained from the job. And I believe that there should be space for the graduates. Very many friends have reached out to me because they believe I do have connections.
Yeah, true.
And you'll find that I don't have any job in the government. I don't have any job anywhere, but I created my own opportunities. So I think we have to advise the old. They say in Uganda that Ukademages, we believe they have that knowledge, and they should think for the young generation, because the future of this country is in our hands.
Exactly.
And if at all they don't act now, then the future is dead. So I believe opportunities should be created by those who are in offices. They create space for others. That's why you've seen that some of the students, they choose to go in other ways. They choose to join the political career because they're creating their own space. And when it comes to the different interviews that they come for to apply for jobs, you'll see that results come back and they have passed, or the pass mark for the interview that is given. I have a friend who was telling me last week, I did an interview in this particular organization that I will not talk about, and I got a 70 out of 100. I have another friend I went with a particular name who got a 40 out of, you know, and the other one who got a 40 is working in the organization, and the one who had a higher mark was kicked out.
It brings us back to the conversation of, it's more about connections. Because, you know, our country is, you know, things are changing and all that. Because these days they tell you that your degree does not matter, provided you do have connections. Okay, now those are the sayings that people are, that are using these days. So, does it mean that if I leave campus without new connections, I'm going to find it so hard to penetrate through the job market? Blessing, what's your take on that?
First of all, I would like to say yes, it is true. Having connections is good, but it comes back to you. How do you handle the connections you have? Because at the end of the day, you actually need to have a relationship with these people you're calling your connections. And it all comes back to individuals. What is special about you? You have to look deep and scrutinize yourself. Look at your talents, look at your abilities. Because at the end of the day, even if you got into that job, even if you got into that organization, it is what you deliver that will help you keep you in there.
Exactly.
So for me, I believe we are now done with school. Yes, you probably made friends here and there. It's actually surprising that the person whom you meet randomly will tell you about an opportunity that you'll apply for and you actually get the job. So yes, you might have the connections, but you've gone for this interview. What are you delivering? Because at the end of the day, people are looking for result-oriented people. People are looking at the change you're going to bring and the growth you're going to contribute to the organization. We've seen young people take over jobs that were owned by or being filled by older people. Not because they probably,
They
I would like
qualify maybe.
yes, I would like to imagine that they were good at what they were doing. Because at the end of the day, not everyone is born lucky. Not everyone is born with the connections. The people who have made it from grass. So why not you? Why not you fresh graduate from Makerere? Why do you have to sit back and beat yourself up and say, I have no connections, I'm from a poor family? Change that mindset.
No, so literally now the alarm is we should equip ourselves with the skills.
Yes.
Because if I do have a skill, then I'm going to be, kept at a particular job. Okay. Martin, what do you say?
Dealing with that, allow me to tell you that I also pursued a diploma in accounting and finance, still with moves.
Amazing.
But the experience I got with just getting an internship placement was a little bit hard. So if just getting an internship placement is hard, then what about the job? So it goes back to probably you getting to know your circles. We as the youth right now, we have to create our own connections because we have realized that the connections that we knew before may not be of good help. Because at the end of the day, just like the president analyzed, as per Ugandan economy, we graduate 500,000 each year and 50,000 get jobs, meaning that the 450 remain unemployed. And then it accumulates with the next year. So meaning at the end of the day, you as a person, if at all probably the connections have failed, we have to create the connections within ourselves because we have started with students, fellow students, and they are somewhere. So meaning that we have to look at them before probably looking at the previous ones that we thought that are main connections. And from there we can create our own connections and build what we really need. Thank you.
It goes back to networking.
Exactly.
What I get from his, it's networking. So while at school we do need to do, the networking and all that, we should be social, literally.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. So back to you, Bruno. You mentioned, you talked about something that was concerning the old people leaving their offices for the young. But then it comes back to what we've been preaching, like we should not be job seekers, but more like the job creators. So should we now go into those offices and be like, I need this job, I feel like maybe I'll learn on job, since they do ask for experience. So should we do that, or maybe we could try and look at yourself, look at your abilities and ask yourself, what can I do best? So is it more like we need to encourage the youth out there to do, the job creating and all that?
Well, that issue, we should have very many job creators than seekers. That's a consoling statement. And if I told you to see right from nature, these fingers are not the same. Not everyone can create an opportunity. My knowledge is different from the other person's knowledge. If I told I was able to run business even before university, not everyone can, not because they don't want, but we're different. So I believe we can't be the same. Not everyone can start out with business. If I told those people who are saying, so I remember one time, there's a politician, he's a retired politician, he came out, he said, he's from my hometown, deep down there. He said, you the youth shouldn't join politics, you're wasting time, invest in business. Why did he go into politics?
He's into politics, but he's telling the
such
rest
statements. So for me, I do not blame a person who fails to start a business. Sometimes there is no capital.
True.
Sometimes they don't have interest because we have different goals and objectives. Your vision is different from mine.
Yeah, sure.
You might have passion to, to be a public figure. You might have passion to live a private life. You might have passion to do business. Your passion might be to represent the people of Uganda or to help run this country to a better, Now, I personally, I might be a business person, at the same time I'm interested in serving the citizens of Uganda.
Yeah.
Now, that is what they call serving two masters at a go. Not everyone can do that. And you'll see that sometimes people, they better pursue what they can do best.
Oh, yeah,
I remember we started that in commerce specialization, if I told them to remember in my form too. So you cannot do everything. So I believe that let people go where their passion is, and if at all they want to go in a particular field, create for them space, because you're not going to live forever. There is tomorrow. So you train the future people to hold those offices. You'll find that most of the offices today are through inheritance. The so-called connections that we've been talking about, they will be self-centered.
It's all about
You'll see that
families
even
and all
when you go to a certain company that is private, you'll see that the names are the same. You'll see Kamoga this. If at all the names are different, then there should be a connection. Even now in the public offices that you see, you'll find that there's a particular group of people of interest that have centered themselves in that. Where shall the Kamoga go? So I don't think the children that I'll have, they can do what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yes, some of them might do, but now we need to create for the future, because I personally, I won't be here for the next 100 years.
We are not certain of even to
No, I won't be there for the next 100 years. I cannot say that. Well, now the so-called, the heads of this country, they are 80 years plus. You'll find that even those that they are bringing are in the same family, meaning that it's going to be like that. Now where will others go? So we need to think about that as a nation, because this is a national matter of importance.
Okay. So we've gotten to know that, we need the different skills. He talked about networking, but then during our campus time, people do think that before I leave school, they have a mentality that, before I leave school, I should be, at least somewhere. But it's not easy to get into those organizations, the NGOs, the government ministries. So what do you think about that mentality that, before I leave campus, because we very well know that out of the 11,000 plus students that did graduate last week, we very well know that it is only maybe, if I'm to say, at least maybe like 20% of the students that did graduate, it's only 20% that had sure jobs. Like, they know my job is there, and others are even already in the field of working. So where does it leave the rest? What should they do? Like them? What's your take on that?
Well, first and foremost, we have different backgrounds. The family that you come from is different from mine, and we have different abilities. I already said that we're not the same. So, well, it depends. We've reached a point in this country whereby if at all you can't struggle on your own, then you're going to die young. I might not mean the death, dying, but once you become poor and you can't do anything,
the stress kicks in.
You're already dead. So I think this goes back to the fellow youth. I don't have a strong background where I come from. I don't come from a wealthy family, but the way I've struggled in life, and the life I've lived at campus or university, some might think that we come from, somewhere.
Yeah, we do know your story.
Which is not the case. So if which is not the case. I believe now it goes back to us, because you won't blame the government every time. Yes, it's not doing well, we do agree. But now if at all it's not doing well, you don't have the guns to fight the government. What are you going to do? Use your personal strength. Use what you can do best. I thank the Almighty God that He gave me the knowledge to be innovative. So I think the young should transfer to attaining skills, because very many people have studied, very many people have been to university. You've been in a class of very many students. So just imagine who is going to go in this particular organization. Very many people have been doing statistics. There's a ministry, and there's that the Bureau of Statistics. Not everyone will go there, because that's their dream. Most of the people that study statistics, I'm going to work for UBOS, but not everyone can be there. So I believe that we should attain skills. When we were at university, I chose to join leadership, and it has really groomed me, and I have other ways to life apart from what I've studied, meaning that people should think way beyond. There are people who are in sports, my colleagues here, she has been my sports minister. She has a degree for procurement, but at the same time she's
doing sports.
Yeah, she's doing sports and she's doing well. So I believe people should find different ways. You should try, because this is a world of trying here and there. You cannot survive in one place. So I think it goes back to us. Yes, if at all this refuses, have plan B.
Yes. So we should do that self-check. We should equip ourselves with the skills. Literally, it's skills development. How can I I should look at something else. If I did economics, how is my economics going to help? Because we very well do understand that these days, we could find an accountant doing something that should be done by, a procurement officer. So literally what we are studying is not what we are, it's not the fields we are working in. So where does that leave us? Like Bruno has told us, we need to do more of skills development, equip ourselves with the skills that are going to, help us maneuver through. As you said, Blessing, you did procurement, but you're into sports. Same applies to Martin. He did administration, but then he also did accounting. So we have the youth out there. You need to venture into different ventures that, at the end of the day are going to be productive. That in case this does not work out for me, I'm going to look at this. I should have a plan B. Martin, what do you say about it?
Well, that is very right. And allow me also to inform you that I do plumbing. My uncle taught me how to do plumbing. So that is another skill that I have added to the accounting and also business administration. Okay. So what I studied at campus generally has helped me manage. There is a small business that I manage with my sister. It's called GOTV chocolates. We import chocolates from you and sell them here on either wholesale or retail. Okay. Though currently she's the one managing it since I've been into education and leadership.
I understand.
But what I've studied at campus, it has taught me how to probably manage a business. Because my uncle is the main plumber, but at some point I help him manage and also do the hands-on plumbing. That's why I could fix a sink, fix a toilet, fix a cistern, yet I sit in a class of business administration and accounting. Exactly. Then I also do some management of construction projects. Let me call myself a contractor. They may not be that big like the established companies, but they would entrust me with their money. I get the builders, and then I manage the site till from foundation to the structure, maybe to the house getting completed. So what does that mean? It means that when you're in class, don't just focus on to one thing. Be versatile. Because we studied very many course units, but each course unit teaches you something different. I studied EWEB, that is related to business computing. I studied procurement, PPSM, it's connected to art. I studied HRM, it's connected to another program. Yes. So meaning that when you're studying a single program, pay attention to the details of various course units, because you never know, it may lead you somewhere different. Yes. Thank you.
Like Martin has said, we need to, equip ourselves. Like he said, he does plumbing, he does site management. So, and I feel like these are some of the things that the youth out there ignore. Because a person will tell you, oh my God, I've done procurement. How do they see me going into site management? Oh my God, I've done business computing, so I'm only going to look for a job in that line. I'm not going to look at the other sectors. So, listen, what do you feel? What's the problem with the youth? Is it that they're a bit ignorant, or they're a bit, I don't know how to call it for lack of a better word, but then what is the problem with the youth out there today? More especially with the graduates.
Okay. Personally, I feel like I would use something that is common to us as a youth. They fear to be cringe.
Okay.
I'll give an example. I sell sunglasses. So I'll reach out and tell someone, oh, I think these would look nice on you. On a random day, someone would look at me and say, the girl, she was a minister, she's a graduate, how does she move around telling people about, I'll give an example again of my sister. She worked in customer service of a company, receiving calls of customers complaining, right? And that's not what she studied. She said statistics. Okay. Everyone dreams of being a new boss. You look at your CGP and you're like, I could do this. But she started small. Everyone needs to start small. Do not look down on the few opportunities you get, because now what her job that she did in her, I think it was fresh from graduation, is what helped her to get the job she has now, a way better job. So sometimes, yes, in Uganda people are looking for people who have experience, people who have skill. It doesn't matter what you studied. You know, you go for an interview and they say, what can you do with this kind of job? You know, you tell them, I did this, I did that, I believe I can do this. But if you come up and say, you know, I studied procurement and I got a 4.9 CGPA, there are like 10,000 people on the line that have the same CGPA, and it will not be of use to you. So what I'm saying to the youth and what I would encourage the youth to do is look at your skill, look at the opportunity that has presented itself to you, and do it to the best of your ability.
Okay. Yeah. So shortly we shall go moving for a very short break. We shall go for a breather. Then please keep it locked. Smart 24 TV. We shall be back with our discussion now that we do have the graduates in the house from the mighty hill of Makerere. We shall be right back after this break.
Smart 24, driving business.
We were talking about unemployment, and this is the unemployment series. Then we are talking about the graduates. Like now that we're out of campus, so what next? What next for the graduates? And before we went in for that very short break, Blessing here was telling us about starting small. What does it mean to start small? Why do people despise the small beginnings? People want to start big. They want to wake up in the morning and they're in a government office. They want to wake up in the morning and they're a CEO somewhere, but then they do forget the fact that it is this small. In Luganda they say kamu kamu. Exactly. So we need to gather. It should start small in order for one to make it out there. So now that we're coming, it's towards, because this is our last segment of the show. I want you, Blessing. I'll start with you. What is your advice to the students out there? More especially those that are done with school, not necessarily this year, those that graduated last week, but then those that are out there that even graduated like 3 years back, but are still seated at home, waiting on that job, maybe because they did procurement, they're still waiting to get a job as a procurement officer, in some company or an NGO or something. What is your advice to the young people out there that are seated, they're just seated on themselves, waiting for, maybe a miracle or something to happen?
Thank you very much. My advice to the graduates, sorry.
Yeah, they're actually now graduates.
Yes, or those that have graduated, or those that are still in school, is to opportunities. I'll give an example of how I started my sunglass business. A friend just texted in group, the class groups that we belong to, and she asked if anyone could sell sunglasses, if there's anyone that sells sunglasses. Okay. And there is this lady that I was seeing posting sunglasses on her status, and I just took a screenshot of whatever she was posting and then sent to this girl that was actually asking in group. Okay. And that's how I started
the business.
So it's look out for opportunities. My friend Bruno mentioned that not everyone can be an innovator.
Yeah, true.
So if you've seen someone start up an innovation, because being innovating and being an investor, there are very many different things. I'd like to imagine that even someone that invests in their education is actually investing in themselves. So yes, you look at yourself and you understand, I cannot be a business person, but look for that thing in you that a business person would need.
Okay.
He did accounting. Be the best accountant you can know. Do those extra tiny courses, in that when the chance comes, you're the best at what you do. Exactly. And we've still mentioned, not everyone is going to be a business person, not everyone is going to be an innovator. We are seeing people that are thriving in innovation and those that are actually dealing in technology. Not everyone did technology, not everyone can actually set up something that is technological, right? But what can that person that has started up a technological business or started up something that is, in ICT will need from you? So look deep and look at what you can add can add onto a business or into a venture that you would need, that you would want to, you know, be part of. If you want to be an accountant, do CPA, do another course, you know. Someone else that side is wanting to be a business person. They will invest in their business. You're investing in yourself. And at the end of the day, you know, we are at the stages in life where we are trying to be better versions of ourselves. So focus on that. Be the better version of yourself. Read books. Wake up earlier than everyone else. Don't scroll through TikTok and, you know, spend the whole Develop yourself. When the chance comes, you will thrive.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to start small, like you've mentioned. You know, when an opportunity presents itself, be the best at it. And do the best. In that, if they're talk about someone, if they're looking for someone, it's you they'll think about. So have impact, look for opportunities, and develop yourself personally.
Well said, Blessing. So Bruno, back to you. What do you think that the youth out there need to do?
Well, in it, I think now I'm going to take this back to the parents. You know, they say charity starts from home, it begins from home. So it's right away from the grassroots, so the foundation. Now, you'll find that my business background is not surprising to those who know me. When I started way back in Norway, that is a story for another day. Well, you'll find that at home, my dad has been a government officer or official at a government position that I won't mention. But the things that we used to do, at least they laid the ground for me. And by the time I started thinking that a man has to do this, a man has to have his own money, I was already having ideas. Let me try this, let me try out this. So it goes back home. Well, you've decided to pay school fees for your child through nursery, primary, secondary. Now I'm taking the blame to the education that we have right now. Has the government done enough in regards to preparing people to create career or creating their own opportunities? I'll go to career guidance. I'm now blaming the education system. I believe that the education system that we have in Uganda hasn't prepared us enough. The career guidance that is given is just theoretical. We should look at also the practical part, because you'll see that I've studied business computing, but have I done enough of business computing practical skills? No. You've been doing accounting. Have you done enough of accounting that is needed in the field? You'll find that what you've studied, it's quite irrelevant to what is needed in the work world. Okay? So now, I remember I blamed the government, I blamed the parents, I blamed the education system. I blamed even individuals for not being hardworking enough. So I think it goes back to everyone. And well, the issue of where you come from is very important. However much you come from a very poor background, if at all your mother sells cassava, you'll not grow up saying or sleeping all the day scrolling through TikTok, just like you said. If at all you have a struggling background, for sure you also find out to make better or to change home. People always tell us, I left home to change home. And you'll find them, the same people, when they get some small kawago, they're the ones spending in the bar. So how are you going to better home? Well, I remember I have my godfather. I used to go there for holidays. He's a well-off man. He's an engineer. But when I went there thinking that we're going to have a good life, my dear friend, in P6, I ended up being on a site, Trinity College in Abingo, around girls, and for me, since day one, Nina Malala. So, I've grown up a person who, Nina Malala, but I want to get what is mine. At least I know. Even the time when I left home, I knew that a man has to stay alone, work hard, be successful, get a woman, have children, however much I haven't reached there yet. So I think it goes back to everyone who has a hand in bringing up a person has the responsibility to make sure that the person is successful. Sure.
Thank you so much. So back to you, Martin. What do you think, what do the students out there, actually they're no longer students, what do the graduates out there, what do they need to do?
Well, the graduates may not have much to do. I would pin this on the government, just like Bruno said. When you look at our neighboring countries, they have what we call a minimum wage. Here in Uganda, we are lacking a minimum wage. And as a matter of fact, you will graduate with a bachelor's degree, but the amount of money you're getting may not be enough. So when you bring it back to us, yes, we want to work, because I as a person, I would want him to enter into the employment world, because I've studied a lot and I believe I have the qualifications. But when you go back into the employment world, the money they are giving you, the expenditure is high. So at the end of the day, you're saving nothing, you're gaining nothing. And when you start working, trust me, your siblings, your parents may start looking up to you. Take an example, you're earning 500,000 a month. How much are you spending on transport? How much are you spending on self-care? How much are you spending on data? So at the end of the day, you're saving nothing. But if at all they set something like a minimum wage, because we have said this maximum and minimum price legislation, at the end of the day, a person who has just graduated will be eager to enter into the employment world, get a job knowing that it will pay him or her.
Yeah.
It may not be that much or enough, but at least it will help them somewhere. So at the end of the day, I as a person, I have a dream of entering into the House of Commons, that is in the UK, if at all the Lord wishes. But that brings us back here into Uganda. They are legislating in ways that are not helping the country. They are enacting laws, for example, Computer Social Media Misuse Act. But at the end of the day, that is not more relevant than the minimum wage. So if our leaders out there, be it the executive, be it the legislature, be it the judiciary, they should work on to that part of fixing a minimum wage, because it will give them, or it will give the employers, a set of employment rewards that they will give to the people that are really working hard to be there. So I as a person, I want to enter into the employment world and maybe later develop a business and be self-employed, but I have to practice what I've studied. So they should also probably seek for the jobs. I know they're there, but we have to stand as one to make sure that we get a minimum wage that will boost the employees, and then we can also apply for the jobs happy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martin. So now, still talking about the unemployment bit of it, and for the graduates out there, what next? Now that graduation is done, you're coming into the world or the field of work. How prepared are you? First of all, look at yourself. How prepared are you? How best can you present yourself out there into that world? Because it's a challenging world, I would say. Like Blessing said, we need to equip ourselves with the skills. And Bruno also talked about something that comes with the individual. You as a person, what are you doing? You as you, what is it that you're going to stand out and be like, okay, me, I can do this, that all the other IT analysts cannot do? What is that thing that is so special about you? So all I can say, do not waste any opportunity. Make sure that you grab each and every single opportunity that comes your way for the graduates out there, and make sure that you even do look for these opportunities. Don't just sit back at home meanwhile, because people do have a habit of just sitting at home and be like, okay, let me just sit back, apply, and I'll get the job. No, go out there. Look for the opportunities, make sure you venture into everything. You're here, you're there. Anything that comes up, make sure that you do grab it. So our conversation will keep on going. We still want to know what your thoughts will be like. That is on X at Smart24 TV. So thank you so much for joining me. Your former, what should I say, Excellency?
Once a president is
Once
always
a
a president, so I'm still a president.
He's still a president. So thank you so much, Bruno, for your time. Blessing, it has been an honor. Martin, thank you so much. So now I'll hand over to Brenia, who is having our expert for the show today, who is going to still talk about our topic, which is unemployment. Still, we shall be right back.
My name is Sam Ogwal, and I am a youth leader serving under the National Youth Council of Uganda. First of all, allow me to utilize this opportunity to congratulate the students that graduated this year. And of course, more are yet to graduate. Yeah, and my humble advice to them is that they should graduate with an open mind. Because when you look at the time of our time now, compared to the pre-colonial time and the post-colonial times, graduation would mean like you have access to the opportunities, because by the time you're moving out of the university, you come out when you already have your appointment letter to join the public service. The private sectors would be struggling to access you, but things have changed. And that's why I said that we need the student or the graduate should come out to join the labor market with an open mind. Not only that, a mind that is ready to grab the opportunities available, because those opportunities are becoming scarce. You can look at Makerere graduating over 1,300. Gulu University just concluded with its graduation, and many more public universities and private universities are yet to join. And all these young people are coming out to compete for the few opportunities within the private sectors, but also the few opportunities within the public sectors. And but of course, attaining a degree is the first level of success. The first level of success in the way, to me, the way I would translate it is that it's for you to think better than someone who has not gone to school. You reason better than someone who has not gone to school. You will actually perform better than if you start up a business than someone who has not gone to school, because you can read, you can communicate, you can network, and then you can use your level of critical thinking to identify the opportunities around you. We are faced with a lot of challenges, and one of the things is that many people are joining the labor market. Government is downsizing through the process of rationalization, whereby also people who are experienced and in senior position are joining the same labor market. Approximately over 900 people within the public sectors are about to lose their jobs. But these are people who are not yet, or they have not yet attained that positions of retirement, that age of retirement. So they are also joining to compete with you, the fresh graduates. So you can see the reality. But I think going forward is that what I love about the young people of nowadays is that education is the first step toward them identifying their goals, and people are focusing on personal development, and that's what I encourage graduates to do. You look at what motivates you, you look at what you're passionate about, and pursue that goals. Because if you decide to force yourself in an angle or in a sector that where your passion is not in, then automatically the society or the community or that sector will automatically reject you, and you'll be stranded within the streets. It's not easy, but allow me to congratulate them and not to discourage them. There are a lot of opportunities out. Look at the current development. Young people who are there see the opportunities the world is going towards, the fight against climate change. Where do you see yourself? How knowledgeable are you within that sector? Because that's where money is going to be. The issue of peace and security, how knowledgeable are you within the global affairs? What do you know what is happening? Because that is where the money is going to be. The donors are funding certain specific sectors. Government is prioritizing the issue of peace and climate change and defense and all that. But out of that, where resources are invested in, that is where the opportunities are. So the question is, how are you able to fit within that terrain of opportunities and compete with the other people? Can you answer that yourself internally? The moment you're provided the answers for that, it means that graduation is the start of your studies. You need to again expose yourself more, read more, so that you are able to adapt into the world outside the university. Remember, your parents, they have done their best. 90% of students that graduated, probably their parent might not support them again. So that means that now you need to work in a world of yourself. Besides that, your family is there, but you need to engage in a world of yourself and understand that it's now me to drive the agenda, it's now me to support my family, it's now me to support my parents, it's now me to support my siblings who are behind or who are left behind. And that comes with pressure. For those ones who can, they can get married. It's also an opportunity, but also be careful because things are rough. You're being done into an arena where everyone wants to eat, everyone wants to utilize every techniques they have, and you are just fresh from the school with only fresh knowledge, with only fresh thinking, but there are people who have been in that street. So that's my humble advice to the people who have graduated. But also going forward, I think government need to look into our education system to focus more into skill-based learning. The reforms are happening. I can say that the secondary and the primary, the curriculum have changed into skill-based learning, but little has been done to capacitate the tutors and the teachers who are supposed to provide these skills to the student, to the pupils. But also the same thing should apply in campus. We don't want now to go in a situation whereby our costs are expired and it becomes a global concern, reducing the level of opportunities we have as the young people. We want to ensure that as we are getting out, the government should also do its part. The educational institution should also do its part to ensure that we go out to face the reality when we are ready. Not that we now need to do more, or we shall be set back by things that really we don't have controls over. Yeah, but I wish them luck, and I know many are going to succeed. They should stay healthy. They should know that the hard work in campus or in the university is not the same hard work outside the university. Things change and will continue changing, but only pray hard, all will be well.
Asset is a property that is owned by an entity, a person, a company, an organization, and in most cases it's of a great value to that particular either person, entity, or anybody.
Anya gange wampita Hussein Saddam. Ya ndi musozi w'enkoge ntunda nkoge. Kati kigambo an asset, I understand it in the way that an asset is something kintu kyogula nga kigenda kolera mu business ate nga kigenda bera oluberera. For example in a business, or tunda bintu like me, like nze nganze omuntu. Kati asset yange obonga obuveera wenkozesa san asset. Kintu kyenteka mu business. Like omuntu alina business nene, like omuntu alina emmotoka, that's an asset. Omuntu alina enyumba like alina arcade, that is an asset. What you integrate kigambo an asset. Yeah.
What I understand by the term asset, it's an asset is can be a land or some other stuff. Maybe if you have to talk about things like crypto, you can have assets like gold, things that will bring you in money. Apart from asset, I know the other thing is liability. Liability can be like a motorcycle, a vehicle, that something that consumes your money. But an asset is something that will give you money, will generate for you money, or with time it will grow in value. Like a land, if you buy a land, maybe you buy it at 15 million. With time, the value will increase, and then with time you can even be able to sell it at 100 million. Yet you had bought it at around 15 million.
Asset is anything that brings or adds value. So for example, a car could be an asset, but in this economy, it's an asset and a liability. Yes, and an asset. Another example, something tangible, what we call a fixture. Land is an asset because its value keeps on appreciating, basing on the region it's located.
Smart 24, driving business.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda, the taste of Uganda. want ya, I want ya. Fortune family. I want ya.